process. Somebody doesn't not some people must do, but sure, the majority of people, it's a longer drawn out process where they might visit multiple retailers of different brands or different used dealerships. So it is, as you say, Dev, a very tricky process to kind of map out. And I think tell me if you disagree, Nick. I think any data you do have to take with a pinch of salt because there's so many things that might interrupt it or.
Yeah, I think from like when you're attributing success to different channels, I think you have to look at it in different ways because you might you obviously have to look at different models. If you look at first click only, you might devalue some of the other steps along the way. And if you were just to look at that or last click, you've got to kind of look at it as a whole and see where channels are contributing because you could easily sort of come to the wrong decision if you're not careful. I think you've got to kind of have a very considered view when looking at it rather than saying, right, okay, we're only looking at last click, for example, look, which channel's working? Oh, great, it's Facebook. But actually, a lot of these might have come from paid search or organic search initially. And I think it's just important to kind of have a considered view and just sort of review everything.
One of the key things, for example, one of the dealers I work closely with spends an awful lot of money on Facebook. Now, interestingly, people will often go into Facebook and see an advert, go on the digital journey, land on their website. Then what we see is they come out and obviously they can't see that advert easily again because it's been served to them. So what they tend to do is then go and land on a Google search for something to search for the thing that they found. And then they end up back on the website and they see the offer and then will inquire and engage and purchase. So they get an awful lot from Facebook, but not all of it is attributable to Facebook. And Google tends to be the place that leads them into the point at which they transact.
I think that we do see that happen in Facebook. I think what I'd say there is looking back at what we would tend to do is look at what was the starting point and what was the first touch point from to see the effectiveness of the PPC, because quite often that if it's a non-brand search, that quite often will be the first point of contact. So we tend to look at that, like especially if it's search, how did that, did many of the leads originate from those? Which campaigns did the leads originate from that? Because if that's just, for example, if the campaigns are potentially performing that well, and there's a lot of brand. We see a lot of campaigns where, I don't know, run Performance Max, but they won't exclude brand. So it looks like Performance Max is doing really, really well. But actually, all it's doing is just picking traffic up that originated somewhere else and it's taking all the credit. So I think things like that, you've got to be very careful of. So we'd always look, that's why whenever we build any campaigns, we always segment out brand really clearly so we don't have to worry about misattributing. And likewise with Facebook, you've got to be very careful that if you're using you might be using a 1-day view, 7-day click attribution model. You could find if you're advertising to your all web users, you could find that a lot of people see your ads anyway and then are converting that would have converted. It's just they're scoring through Facebook and they're being served your ad. And then Facebook will obviously claim that as a conversion. So it's just, that it's then like thinking about, okay, well, should we just be using click-based attribution from Facebook? Again, it's like, where are you looking at your source of truth? Because Facebook will say it's doing really well, Google will say it's doing really well, but it's just kind of drilling into the data a bit more and just taking a bit of care over, like, what was it? What was the source of truth? Was it Facebook Pixel or was it GA4? Every time you're looking at a channel, it's just trying to understand where it was attributing the value and where it was in the user journey.